Hello, my name is Arthur, and in this video we're going to look at how to quickly make the player tank into an enemy tank. So I created the player tank much the way that I indicated I would. I took vehicle 1, I saved it as vehicle 2, and imported the tank in and just used the meshes. So I copied the meshes into this vehicle, got rid of the tank meshes or the other vehicle meshes, and just rebuilt certain aspects. So I changed the collision shape for the wheels, for example, from cylinders into a couple of capsules that sort of rough out the treads mostly. And I didn't try to be perfect on that. Like, the vehicle isn't going to be the purpose of the tank isn't to be able to do amazing tank like things and drive over cars and stuff like that. um, it's a somewhat slower vehicle. It's tougher and it has more firepower. But for driving physics and stuff like that, I figure that trying to aim too high in Godot is just not going to work out. So it's not made to be a super tank for driving purposes. It goes slower and it turns faster, is pretty much its dynamic. But other than that, the vehicle came together pretty easily. By using a copy and paste sort of routine to get meshes on top of all of the other functioning parts. I did have to rebuild the animations, but that wasn't so bad. That's rotating wheels and then toggling the visibility on the treads so they give that tread illusion. With the visibility of the 3 treads coming on and off in sequence, it just appears to be a moving tread. So we've already covered that in the tank specific portion of this series of videos. So what we're going to look at now is how to quickly convert this tank for the enemy vehicle. So what we're going to do is we're going to save scene as. So we'll save scene as. We're going into the vehicle 2 folder. So we're units vehicle 2, and we're just going to call it enemy vehicle 2. And then we'll have 2 copies of the same vehicle. Now we have enemy and vehicle. So we'll open up vehicle and we'll look at enemy vehicle 2. We'll open up Blender and we'll open up the blend file. I've saved it as vehicle 2. And we'll look at the materials. Let's select the tank body. And we're just going to take the Camo 1 material and we're going to load in the other camouflage. So that's it. That's all there is to it. So we'll file, export. We'll navigate to the directory. So that is in vehicle 2, import. We'll overwrite vehicle 2. And that was a mistake. I made a mistake there. So we're going to have to undo that. And I forgot to do something very important. So we'll overwrite that again. And that should leave everything will be exactly as it was, which is the problem. What I forgot to do here is change the name of the camo. So we're going to change it from 1 to 2. By changing the name, prior to our export, when we export it, what we'll get is a second copy of the camouflage. So now on the enemy vehicle, we can select the vehicle body, and if we look at its surface, it will have surface 1 and surface 2. 1 simply needs to be given the new material. So we just attach the material to it. The turret will have the same thing. It only has the 1 surface though. So we'll change its material. And the main gun also has the camo material. We'll change that. And we'll change this one. So nice and easy. Now all we have to do is manage our layers. So this is the player layer. This is the enemy layer. On its detect area, we want to move it so it detects the player layer. Because all of the other things are pretty much the same, the turret, they're both using a shared shell right now because friendly fire exists. So there's no changes to be made there. About the only change left is to scrap player. And although it hasn't been relevant yet, I'm still going to add it to the group enemy in case that becomes relevant. And that should be about it. I'm not sure what happened there. We'll just save here and save here and go back. So that was from overwriting the file without changing the camo name. That changed my tank. So at this point, we should be able to just collapse that. We'll be able to bring in the second enemy vehicle. I'm not sure. Oh, I know what we haven't done here. We have to change its name. So, enemy vehicle. And we can just save that. And we'll take this out. And we'll re-add it with the amended name. And we'll just pull that out. Move it forward some. Let's pull him up so he's not in the floor. I don't know if snap to floor is going to work. I've been having some issues with snap to floor. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's doing that now. It's kind of something new it just decided to start doing. Kind of one of those inconsistencies you run into. So we can rotate him around, maybe give him a little bit of space and start things up, see what happens. Now for now, all of the vehicles have the same range because they've all been built off of the same starting point. But that tank should be shooting and everything now. And we'll see what happens when the camera holding vehicle dies. He should die off here. So we have it set up so the camera will just switch Everything seems to be working good. We seem to have found a range weakness. So that's what we have going on. I've set the shells up so they don't always impact with the vehicle. There's some changes that need to be made. Maybe the machine gun should probably have a sequence where it fires bursts and then has to cool down. So it would fire a burst and then have a small cool down time and then fire a burst. So kind of more like a machine gun would fire. I also think that there should probably be some randomness in its aiming. So maybe a little bit of randomness in its ability to hit a target. Because when a machine gun's shooting, it can't do what these guns do, which is shoot exactly into the same spot every single time. Because machine guns have a kick. So they don't have that kind of accuracy. They should kind of wander around as they're shooting. And on the tank, I was thinking that it should have some randomness on its reload time so that it's not always consistently 2 seconds between each shot. Perhaps a small amount of random, so sometimes it shoots a little bit faster and sometimes it shoots a little bit slower. I also found a solution to emitters, the smoke emitter being reset every time the unit gets shot. So we can glance at that. What I did is I changed it so that there's a entire function dedicated to emitting the smoke. What it does is it has stages. So this stage starts at 0, and so that when the life percentage becomes less than 75, it will one time change the smoke amount. And then when it gets beneath 50, it will one time change the smoke amount. And by adding in the stage variable, I'm able to control it and make it so that the smoke amount is only changed 3 times before the unit dies. So that's it for this video. I think in the next video I'm going to go back to looking at map and then get enemy units moving. So once I have a map, I'll come up with something to get the enemy units moving and maybe find a way to give them a little bit of response as well to stimuli. So kind of get them doing something more than sitting there able to shoot back. And that'll be coming up. And until then, I hope this video was helpful, and take care.